a really good team. And I think I remember sitting up here, after game one or game three, we played them, and I'm like, they're going to be just fine, right? Like, they just have to grow. They're young, and then they've got to figure it out, and they've got to learn to play together, and they have.
Did they grow? Indeed. Now time to bring in CBS Sports WNBA analyst Tarika Foster-Brasby. And Tarika, this Fever team has been the second hottest team in the W behind the Lynx since the Olympic break. So I'm compelled to ask you, how dangerous is this Indiana team, especially with the way their dynamic backcourt is playing in Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell?
Yeah, they're a very dangerous team coming into this postseason. You know, they always tell you that the team that you want to watch out for are the teams that get hot at the right time. And this Indiana Fever team has most certainly gotten hot at the right time. They figured out how to gel with each other, the chemistry that they've built, the backcourt between Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, who Mitchell is really coming in to this season, to this postseason, playing some of the best basketball of her career. When you look at the last matchup between the Connecticut Sun and Indiana, Connecticut was not able to contain Kelsey Mitchell, nor were they able to outscore. It was a close matchup, and I know that it will be a close matchup, but that's going to be the biggest thing. Can Connecticut score effectively and efficiently enough to put them above Caitlin Clark and the rest of the Fever? They've had success doing so 3 times this year, but keep in mind, those 3 times that they met were before the Olympic break. And so both of these teams look very different from then up until now. I think that this is probably going to be the most interesting matchup in the postseason, if you ask me, just because this Indiana team is young, it's inexperienced, and it's on the road, but they're playing really well right now, and their fans travel incredibly well. So I don't know how much of a home game it's going to feel like for Connecticut when all those Indiana fans tune in to Mohegan Sun, but it certainly should be a compelling ride to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be an entertaining series, to say the least. Now, when you look at Sunday's matchup, do you expect the Fever struggles to continue, right, with those 3 losses earlier in the year? Or do you think Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, they're able to steal one on the road in game 1?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Chris, and that's because this team has figured out exactly how to defend better. That was one of the issues that this Indiana team kind of struggled with early on, but one thing Christy Sides did later in this half was she started to utilize Lexi Hull a bit more, right? And using her as your best perimeter defender really helped this team to kind of hone off on some of the teams that score well from outside. The thing is, this Connecticut Sun team, it prides itself on defense, and so it's going to focus on Caitlin Clark. They are going to focus on Kelsey Mitchell, and Dejanay Carrington has done a phenomenal job with ensuring that Caitlin Clark struggles whenever they're playing against Connecticut. So I have no doubt that this is going to be a low-scoring defensive game because both teams, again, Indiana having figured out how to defend a bit better and Connecticut knowing how to defend, it's what they do. I don't believe that this is going to be a game in which it will be an 80-90 point situation. However, Connecticut must find a way to have consistent scoring, and I believe that they have found that in Marina Mabrey. She was someone who was not a part of their team earlier in the year when they matched up those first 3 times. So the way that they play offense is a little bit different when you add her to the lineup, but that is going to be the key. Can Connecticut continue to find some offensive rhythm? They're going to need that in order to make sure they move on past Indiana.
Well,
and I get where she's coming from. Marina Mabrey, I don't know how much of a consistent scorer she will be and how much she can get hot. Don't get me wrong. Mabrey can go off for 15, 20 points a game. I don't know how consistent she's going to be in this playoff. And I don't know how much, first off, I don't even think she's starting right now. I don't know if she's going to be coming off the bench or what the case is, but Mabrey, she's for sure going to get minutes. I just don't know when, right? Another thing I want to talk about, I agree with her. I don't think this is going to be a crazy high scoring game. I don't think we're going to see 100+ scoring game. I think this is going to be anywhere from an 80 to 90 point, like anywhere from a 74-ish to 89 point type of game. And it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be physical. It's going to be defense. It's going to be turnovers. It's going to be, you guys. So look, when it comes to the playoffs, you're going to have to capitalize on every opportunity you get. Free throws, foul trouble, fast breaks. We cannot afford missed layups. We can't afford a lot of things have to be tight. The playoffs has to be tight. Like, you need to be locked in, ready to go. this Suns team, they're gonna have a lot of veteran type of play. I mean, whether it's trying to get under your skin, whether it's being physical with you, whether it's picking you up half court, full court, all kind of things, pump fakes, trying to draw fouls. There's going to be a lot of things that you guys see the Suns break out. And coaching, she's going to come to coach. Their coach is going to be ready and prepared. I heard how she spoke on Caitlin Clark in the Fever. I watched her whole interview, and she understands that this team is a threat. She understands this team just played the Aces back to back, and they look like a threat out there. As Hammond said, and she quoted, this team right here, it's not like you're going to stop them. You have to play with the Indiana Fever. So the Indiana Fever, they're going to come to play. But at the same time, we cannot have small defensive breakdowns, small defensive non-communication opportunities and easy backdoors for the opposite team. And then we obviously can't let any of them just get on an absolute burner. We cannot let this team get on a burner. So another thing I would say is Connecticut Sun have a pretty decent bench as well. I expect, like I said earlier, whoever plays for that Suns team, I would say there's going to be probably a rotation of 7 players, maybe 8, but I would say there's going to be a rotation of about 7 players for the Suns. And like I said, you might see an 8th, but the players are going to play. This is going to be a 35, 38-minute type of game for a lot of these players, especially the guards. Like Dejanay Carrington, I don't see her coming out the game a lot, especially if Caitlin Clark's on the floor. They're going to try to stuff her on Caitlin Clark all night and disrupt her all night, get her irritated, frustrated, out of character, get her going with the refs, whatever the case is. You know the narrative right now. You know they're trying to frustrate Caitlin. You know that. So I'm just going to, I'm going to do a breakdown tomorrow, but I'm really excited for what we're about to see on Sunday. And I just want to bring this up. I had never thought that we would be this tuned in to a WNBA playoff series, how we're locked in for the Indiana Fever, or I guess not just the Indiana Fever, but just in general for the 2024 WNBA playoffs. I will tell you this. If the Fever get knocked off first round, viewership is going to tank. Viewership for the WNBA playoffs will tank. And not just a little bit. I'm talking about tank. I'm going to tell you why. One, NFL's back. NFL is already supposed to be taking over the WNBA, but guess what? It's not, because Caitlin Clark is in town. Now, if Caitlin Clark wasn't in the WNBA right now, and you leave every other person in the WNBA, I mean every person, including all rookies, nobody would be talking about this like this, and nobody would be watching this over football. Trust what I'm telling you. Nobody would be worried about the WNBA playoffs at all. So, Caitlin Clark is a huge piece to this league. So, I expect greatness on Sunday. I expect them to come out, set the tone. And if they come out and win on Sunday, I really think it's going to be over for the series. Because now you got, no matter what happens the second game, you got to go to Indiana and play them in their house. Their record at home is pretty solid. Another thing I want to talk about is, as she stated, Tarika Foster stated, when the Indiana Fever travel, their fans travel. Their fans travel. This is the first time they've been in the play. Oh, their fans are going to be traveling. So I don't know how much of a home game this is going to turn out to be. Caitlin Clark fans will be in that building, will be present and on time, ready for attendance and ready for the game on Sunday. And if not, both games. This is the first time they've been in the playoffs in a while. And this is the first time Caitlin Clark, a WNBA rookie, has been in the playoffs. And she's going against the Suns. So I think I'm calling upset. I think it's not going to be pretty. I'm not going to doubt the Suns. But the Fever have to come out and take this so serious. They cannot afford mistakes and slip-ups. They have to come out and be serious. They have, Coach Sides, you have to come with a game plan. I really hope you're in the film room. I really, really hope you guys are in the film room all day tomorrow. Saturday. I just want you guys in the film room. Study. Game plan. Lineup. What are we doing? Chrissy Sides, please, please, please come with the game plan. And let's try to execute, ladies. But look, man, it's your boy C. O'Connor. I appreciate you guys. Welcome to game day. I will catch you guys on the next one. Until then, I'm out.